day 12. This universal law is the law of gender. Now, what this law is all about is that every single human has the male and the masculine and the feminine energy. These energies always come into play. You cannot have the feminine energy without the masculine energy, and you cannot have the masculine energy without the feminine energy. It is like the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang. You have the little dot on either side. The masculine needs to hold the feminine and vice versa. Now, the funny thing about this universal law is I love to play with this universal law in relation to the energy of money, whereas I like to be in the feminine and let money take care of me in the masculine. How we play with this universal law to create a life that we adore and step into so much more is when we look at how imbalanced are we in our life. Hey Andrea, how are you, beautiful soul? How imbalanced are we in our lives? How imbalanced are we? Are we overdoing the masculine and underdoing the feminine, or vice versa? Because if we have too much masculine energy, things are moving but we're not being. And how the universe works through birth and creation is contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. We must use both energies so that we know how to contract, expand, contract, expand, contract, expand. If we are just in the masculine, we're not moving. The arrow has to move back. It has to pull back into the feminine to projectile launch forward. You need both energies to create friction, to create traction. When you're always in one energy and you're not good at being like water and knowing when to step into the masculine and receive in the feminine, you're not able to create the arrow moving back to projectile launch forward. A lot of people say, yes, in business, you need to be more in masculine than in feminine. Now, I'm going to throw a bonus universal law in at the end of this, which is going to really, really, really help you guys understand this one better. But what I want you to understand is that I believe in our life we go through seasons. Sometimes there is a season of masculine energy, more masculine energy to build something. We require the masculine energy. Then there's a season of leaning back and reaping the harvest. There's a season of really receiving what you've put out. If you were to start a business and you were to sit on your butt and you weren't to do anything, nothing would happen. Nothing would move. Yes, we create from the 5D and we don't have to like hustle and push and shove and grind unless you're feeling soul inspired to do that. But there are seasons in which you need to move differently. It's like moving things different in a chess game. You know, you're not going to move all of the pieces the same way, otherwise you're not going to win the game. You've got to think strategically and actually become really connected to your higher self, to your soul, to the divine, to all that is, so that you know what season you need to be in right now. So let's do that right now. Roll your eyes up to your third eye. So just rolling. Take in 3 really, really, really deep breaths in. Breathing in all the way in, breathing in all that good ass prana. Breathe it in, breathing out anything that no longer serves you in this moment. Breathing in one more time, deeply. Releasing anything that no longer serves you in this moment. And then one more deep breath in. This time you're going to hold that breath of air at the top in your crown chakra, holding. And then releasing. And as you release this time, I want you just to come into your heart space, just leaning into your heart space. Bring it all the way into your heart space and just say, hey, spirit, what season needs to be my dominant energy right now in this moment? Whatever the first thing that came through is the answer. It really, really is that simple. If it was masculine, if it was feminine, your job is to use discernment. It is to Because what actually happens is, and this was something that was so hard for me for years because I was in lack. I was in lack of not having the business that I desired. So I would go out there and I would look at the world and I'd see people like Tony Robbins and Lewis Howes and everyone that's just like, you know, not that Lewis says it a lot, but grind, push, shove, hustle hard. And so I would be tuning into that from a place of lack, which is what most people do, because they go and find motivational speech people because they don't have something that they desire, which there's nothing wrong with, but you have to understand what energy you are receiving information in. Therefore you start acting in the masculine. Now if you are a woman, naturally in this lifetime, the feminine is going to be dominant. It's going to really be a big part of your journey, because that's what you've come here to embody. You came here, you chose, your soul chose to be a woman, or if your soul chose to be a man, that's necessarily going to be the dominant energy of your being. And it is really important to step into the embodied feminine, step into the embodied masculine. And we do this by playing with being in our body. What does it feel like to be in our body? A really cool exercise that you guys can do is bring all the energy into your body. It's bringing all the energy into your body. It's just sitting there and just bringing it in, because they say that the soul is actually outside your body. It's actually outside the field of your body. And so bringing that energy in is really, really, really powerful. And this is a really potent tactic to becoming more magnetic. So play with that energy, play with it. I remember a few years ago, there was a lady, I actually think she may be in this group, phenomenal soul. She took a photo of my face, and she took a photo of the masculine side, and she expanded it over to the feminine side. My jawline was so much bigger than it is now. I've shapeshifted so much. It was so much wider. And she goes, look how much you are in the masculine. Look how insanely you're in the masculine. Now, how I knew that I was in the masculine back then, I always had my hair really, 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 really tight back. I'd never ever wear it out. I would always wear really, really tight pants, boy-like shirts. I just wasn't in feminine flow. I would never wear, big earrings or, cute hair ties or anything like that. And it doesn't matter how you turn up in the feminine. It is more about playing with the energy of it, getting into dance. The fastest way to get into the feminine is actually just walking and moving your hips from side to side, really feeling the movement in your body, flowing more, being more like water. So I invite you to notice what season you are in your life, or if you have a business, in your business, and allowing that to flow through and soften and play with that energy, If you got the download to be more in your masculine, it doesn't mean you have to turn into a butch Russian woman like the lady said to me. It means that you embody a potent, powerful energy of the masculine while still holding the balance of the feminine. And how you can do that is through taking action, doing and building in your business, decisions. It's choice. The way I'm able to be in the masculine but really soften and be in the feminine is I know I have to decide. Every single day it's about decision, because every time I make a decision, that's a quantum leap. And so it's deciding. The way that my business stays in the masculine to support me is my calendar looks like a unicorn bathed all over it. My calendar is so sacred to me. It's so potent. Everything that goes into my calendar is so important. Anyone that books in a call with me is so sacred and important. My calendar is the spider web, so I can play, so I can fall. And I turn up in my business in the feminine, in the sense that this challenge has been more in the masculine because I've had a time every single day I need to turn up. Whereas usually I play in the feminine, which is I do a live every day when I feel called to do the live. I will put a block out in my calendar when I'll be doing content creation, but I just play with that energy. I play with whenever feels most aligned for me to do that. And that's how you can stay in the feminine. The easiest way to look at it is if you are having aches and pains in your body, or you've manifested some sort of disease, or things are not feeling in flow, they're feeling forced and pushed, then you need to see which energy you're in. You need to see, is this energy serving me? Because you look at it a bit like surfing. If you understand how we surf, you have to get out past the break. So getting out past the break, out past where all the waves are, you've got to paddle. Masculine energy is required to get out of there. You got to do. Then when you get out past the waves, you can be. You can soften, you can allow. And we have this energy every single day in our business. It's do. Like right now I'm turning up, I'm doing, but I'm in the energy of also being, where I just allow the channel to come through. I don't have a crazy script. I'm not like, oh gosh, got to do this, that, and the other. No, I'm just like flow, allow, because I don't want to miss any of the good stuff. So really ask yourself what season is more dominant, being mindful that even if you're more dominant in the masculine energy, the feminine energy is still going to be present, because one cannot be without the other. You're always going to have the masculine and the feminine. It's just which one is your dominant. Now, if you've had a lot of trauma in your childhood, you're going to naturally be in the masculine, have an abundance of the masculine energy, because you are in this place where you're like trying to protect yourself. You've got to do, maybe you need to prove yourself to be successful because your parents didn't love you like I did. It's trying to become this mask because the masculine protects you. And a lot of old souls, starseeds, light workers, a lot of my clients have been through that. I've been through that too. We have to become the masculine to protect ourselves, or we would not have survived. So it served us greatly, but then once we overcome all that trauma, then we need to soften back into the feminine, and the flow of being in the feminine is really, really, really powerful. So I like to look at business, life, anything that you're doing in the respect that you are paddling, and then like pull it back, receive, allow, soften, allow. But remember, you can't just sit there the whole time and not actually do anything. But it doesn't have to be as hard as what you're perceiving. It doesn't have to be this insane hustle, this insane cold calling. It's just, okay, cool. What can I do today? What decisions can I make to move the needle forward? What steps can I take? What small, tiny, minute shifts can I do to get me there? Now, that is universal law number 12, and I'm going to throw in a bonus universal law number 13. Some places talk about this, other places don't, and I've just really, 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 really loved this universal law because it's a law that we don't often think about, and it is the universal law of gestation. Now, the universal law of gestation is about the fact that every single thing in the physical plane has a gestational period. Your mind will be able to see the whole because it's coming from, the fifth dimension. When you tune into your third eye, you are in the fifth dimension. You can see all that is. You can see the whole quantum field. You can see your entire life's journey through your mind's eye in 2 seconds. But the 3D plane is dense. It's slow. Time is a concept in this 3D plane. So even though we can play with time and we can bend time and we can collapse time, there are things in the 3D plane that we just simply cannot rush, like growing a tree or birthing a baby. There's certain things that just have a time period, and the universal law of gestation stipulates this through the seasons, through 3 months. That's literally why I design my 12-month limitless wealth transformation to be in 3-month cycles, because when it ties into universal law, when it ties into the way that the universe works, and you can get, if you are a coach or you are somebody that can design their life in seasons, I change so much. So I see that every 3 months I do like a cull, I do a checking point, I look at the season that I've just had so that I can learn from that season, evolve from that season, become better from that season and move on. But everything in this world is seasonal. And obviously the universe works in threes, like 3, 6, 9 are the sacred geometry of the universe. And so when we're looking at 3 months, it's really, really, really powerful. And you also stop trying to rush things. The reason that we always want things right now, we want instant gratification, it's coming from lack. When you can come into wholeness and you can be all that is and you can love every single thing in this entire universe, what you realize is that you're whole. You don't need to rush any of it. The thing about being alive is the deliciousness of the unfolding. Your soul is already there. Your soul's seen you become a millionaire a million times. Your soul's done it in a million different lifetimes. Your soul has experienced everything that you could ever desire. You just simply close your eyes. You've experienced it. And when you go, oh, that's not really true, when I say close your eyes and imagine you are sucking on a lemon, what happens? Your eyes start watering. Your taste buds get all like sour because it's real. It's actually real. But you think that it has to be in this 3D touch wood like physical plane for it to be real. And so you're there being like, why isn't it here, instead of going, well, I've already experienced it. Whatever happens in the 3D plane is so beautiful, but what we have to do is we have to get out of lack, fear and scarcity so that we can actually receive life, so we can actually wake up in the morning and just go, this is so beautiful, and I don't even care when the $1 million comes or when I get this dream job or this dream house or this dream body, because I'm so excited to be in the deliciousness of the unfolding of it and expecting miracles and allowing and playing enjoying and relishing and just truly and utterly embracing life in all of its entirety and all of its beauty, and just playing with it, because there's no rush. Your soul's actually chosen to be in this dimension because it wants things to slow down, because it desires for you to experience things in a different way than being up in the ethers, because up in the cloud you get to see everything all the time. It's easy, it's effortless. You've chosen a life of contrast, you've chosen a life of contraction, expansion, you've chosen a life of feeling pain and suffering so you can understand on a deeper level love. And so it is truly and utterly just coming back to self and actually just getting out of your head and out of all the I don't want to use the word toxic, but it's coming through, all of the old toxic thinking patterns and way of being that are out of alignment with your soul's highest truth and your soul's highest integrity. And so really just embracing the journey and remembering that this physical plane, there are gestational periods, and sometimes, and I've said this before, and this always seems to channel through, and it's a terrible metaphor, but when you rush things, it can be dangerous. If you try to rush a pregnancy, you will have a stillborn. It can be catastrophic. When you try to rush a plant growing, it doesn't grow properly. It causes dis-ease in the psyche, in the world. And so trust that all of the seeds of your goals and your dreams, they've been planted, they are coming, they are in the ethers, they are like the bamboo tree that is growing underneath the ground, and it is about to come out. It's absolutely done. There's nothing you need to worry about except for embracing and receiving and enjoying this beautiful, magical, phenomenal journey that just gets to take your breath away every single day. So look at your life today, and the two things I want you to focus on. One is the energies. Are you predominantly in the masculine energy or the feminine energy? Is it causing any dis-ease in your psyche because you are either too much in the masculine energy or too much in the feminine energy? And then for the second part, I want you to just look at the law of gestation and be like, where am I trying to force seeds that aren't ready to be planted? Where am I trying to hurry things along instead of enjoying the unfolding of the things, instead of enjoying the becoming of who I am turning into, of the beautiful dance I'm doing with the universe? Where am I trying to hurry things up because I'm not okay with this moment? And that ties back into the law of polarity, which we went through yesterday, which is so deeply rooted in acceptance of everything of the pole. So I truly hope these two universal laws have absolutely helped you today, expanded you, created this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful activation in your mind, your body, and your soul. On Monday, we are going to call out the winner for the Limitless World Transformation. Monday is the final day to actually jump into the 12-month Limitless Wealth Transformation, where we are literally going to be using universal law to create the life beyond your wildest dreams, to activate limitless wealth in your psyche, activate a place where you wake up in the morning, you jump out of bed and you're happy because you're just so content and so full and so whole with the blessings of life in this beautiful world, instead of wasting this beautiful time and on planet Earth, always wanting things to be fast, wanting things to be other than what they are. Your soul is so excited to be here. Let it be here. Let it enjoy this holiday that it's chosen every facet of. Have fun with this holiday that your soul has chosen, because one day you're going to die and you're going to realize it was all just a dream and it was just a blip in your soul's consciousness, and you'll be able to come back and do it all again. Lots of people say, well, why do I come back and do it again? And they say it's just like childbirth. You go through so much pain and it's so crazy, and then you come back down and you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. That was fun, but just enjoy life. Enjoy having nothing. Enjoy having everything. Enjoy being stuck. Enjoy being free. Enjoy experiencing pain. Enjoy experiencing all the things, because that's why your soul is here. There is nowhere you need to be other than where you are now, and it is absolutely all perfect. And when you think you need to be somewhere other than where you are right now, you are rejecting life, and therefore life will reject you. You don't need to be anything. You are going through certain lessons right now. You are going through certain teachings. You are going through certain initiations and activations in your psyche so that you can live out this beautiful, beautiful life experience that your soul has so beautifully chosen for you, because you desired to experience this, because you've been going through these beautiful lessons for so many lifetimes. And in this lifetime, you've chosen a different avatar so you can experience these lessons on a very, very, very different 3D plane. So enjoy it. Have the best day ever. Relish in it. Do the inner work. Just, I love you. I see you. I know it's been a hard journey. I know you've been through hell and back, and I just am so honored and so grateful to be able to hold the space for you. So much love, wealthy old souls. Have the most beautiful, magical, phenomenal day.